We send it back to Brian Wood.
Bout number 5 is brought to you by Major PAC, highlighting the cannabis industry through health, business, sports, and entertainment. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Matthew Thomas. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Brody Atchison. Oh, baby, let's go.
Because this is amateur youth kickboxing under the Missouri Office of Athletics rules, you see headgear and the shin guards for both of these teenage fighters. 16-year-old Matthew Thomas versus 17-year-old Brody Atchison, round number 1. Tonight's fight clock is presented by Hoy Excavating. Blue trunks for Thomas, white and black trunks for Atchison. Straight 1-2 from Atchison on the low kick on the return, outside kick from Thomas.
Thomas opened up with that low kick and isn't shying away from it as Brody lands a big 1-2. Being the taller fighter, that's going to be a weapon for Brody. Things up the middle, the 1-2, the teeps, and that's what we see him here.
Atchison 6 foot to Thomas's 5'8". Accentuated by that very tall stance of Brody Atchison. Atchison coming forward quickly on the return, outside kick from Thomas. Immediately you see this high skill level of these two fighters. Outside kick, letting go with the hands, coming for Brody Atchison. 1 minute remaining, round number 1. There's the rear teep from Atchison on the entry. Big overhand right lands from Atchison. Right hand again through from Brody Atchison, and another resetting is Matthew Thomas on the outside. Thomas trying to walk his way through those punches. Right hand again from Atchison.
Good shot selection here from Atchison. Going with an uppercut anytime Thomas ducks his head, going with the hook every time Thomas brings his hands down.
Matthew Thomas coming forward, walking through that outside kick, throwing his own kick. Misses with that second follow-up kick. There's the head kick from Atchison.
Big high kick. Didn't land flush, but the top of the shin did land on the top of the headgear of Thomas there.
Closing seconds, round number 1. You hear the 10-second clock. That's acknowledged by referee Nick Behrens. Good opening round for these two teenage fighters. Matthew Thomas, Brody Atchison at 145 pounds. Next stop, round number 2.
Great back and forth round there from both these, I want to say gentlemen, but I guess both these kids.
Our fight replays are presented by Major PAC.
Here we see Brody just found a home for that right hand early on, being the taller, longer fighter. And it fits right down the middle in this open stance, southpaw orthodox. And he just seems to know how to throw it, right? With no wind up, throws it straight from the shoulder, and it's landing. Thomas found success with that low kick early on, but instead of checking it or trying to block it, Brody decides to just throw that right hand and use that as a defense, and it seems to be working.
Seconds out cold, set for round number 2.
One thing about Thomas I was very impressed with in his last fight against Christian Hawk, another 16 or 17-year-old kid, was his ability to adapt in between rounds. Lost the first round and changed things up, and that's very rare to find. So expect Thomas to change things up, as I feel like Brody got the best of that first round.
On the outside kick coming forward, there's the jab. Naked right hand, the 2 without the 1 from Atchison, and that landed clean. Thomas looking for the level change, trying to work his way to the inside. Atchison holding range. 90 seconds remaining, round number 2. There's that rear teep again from Brody Atchison. Simultaneous chest kicks. Jeff, you can see Matthew Thomas trying to work his way into the pocket.
Yeah, it's tough when you're fighting a taller, longer guy, especially if they're using the right weapons, right? Bringing that leg up the middle, that teep, is almost like a jab with your feet when you're the taller, longer fighter. You stop him at the door instead of having him come in.
Right hand again lands from Atchison.
Uppercut to a right straight, just seems to land right on the button. Thomas is having a hard time closing the distance here.
Matthew Thomas keeping a high, tight striking guard. Definitely blocks that head kick attempt. 45 seconds remaining round number 2. On the outside kick from Matthew Thomas. Straight punches again from Atchison to the head. Atchison again loading up that right hand. Right hand getting through. Matthew Thomas continuing to pressure forward. Trying to work his way into the pocket. Atchison keeping this fight at range, his preferred distance.
And Thomas needs more of that, right? Just the bull rush and stay on him, right? He's following Brody Atchison instead of cutting him off. He needs to make this a dirty fight, get up in his face, fight from a distance where his arms can hit him, and Brody's longer arms are going to have a harder time doing so.
Final seconds, round number 2. Left hook getting through. There is the bell. We move to the 3rd and final round. Again, our fight replays all evening long, presented by Major PAC.
Here in the replay, we just see a hook and a cross being landed almost with no resistance. Just, again, being the taller, longer fighter, is able to throw that hook cross. Hook gets the guard up, a straight cross comes right between the guard. If you're Brody Atchison, you don't really want to change much up, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's having a lot of success with the straight shots and the teeps up the middle. On the other hand, if you're Matthew Thomas, something needs to change. You're not having luck at a distance where you're probably used to being able to land, and that's because of who you're fighting. So a change of game plan needs to happen here for Thomas.
Referee Nick Barron starts the 3rd and final round. Trying to work in off the double jab, Matthew Thomas. There's that rear teep again from Brody Atchison. Atchison now coming forward on the low kick right hand. That was effective. Front teep now from Atchison. The right hand, left hook. Bigger shots now from Atchison, trying to open up early stages, round number 3. Jeff, very much this is a range fight. Thomas wants the inside, Atchison wants this long range exactly as he's holding now.
And as of now, Brody Atchison's doing a better job of keeping it at the range to where he can hit you and you can't hit him.
Right hand again, that takes Thomas off his striking line. More clean right hand, straight 1-2s from Brody Atchison from distance. On the teep.
And Thomas having a hard time landing his kicks because he's going backwards a lot of the time. It's very difficult to kick while going backwards because you're off balance. So even if Brody were to barely touch you with something, you're going to fall back. A lot of times knockdowns happen because you're kicking while going backwards.
Side kick from Thomas. Thomas trying to walk through those big right hands of Atchison. Getting late in this fight. 40 seconds remaining, 3rd and final round.
And those teeps are killer. He's throwing them to the gut. He's throwing them to the head.
Thomas is showing a lot of determination, a lot of heart, continuing to walk through punches and kicks. Brody Atchison continuing to control at his preferred long range, and off the 1-2 goes Brody Atchison. Low kick from Thomas. Right hand right back from Atchison. Atchison to the body. Forward pressure again from Atchison. Final seconds of this fight. On the right hand, that ends this bout.
Great fight from both these kids. I mean,
outstanding.
Impressive performance from Brody Atchison, known to be a grappler. You know, worked on his striking these last couple of months, and it showed here. We know how tough Matthew Thomas is. This is great experience for both. I don't want Matthew Thomas to be disheartened by this at all. This is just experience.
Full credit to both Matthew Thomas and Brody Atchison. This is a big arena. This is a big show, a big broadcast. Both of these fighters going all out for the full 3 rounds.
Here in the replay, we just see Atchison keeping him at the end of that right hand. able to keep the fight at his range for, I would say, most of the fight. There we see an a la Vitor Belfort front kick to the face. Very calm and composed from both these kids, and again, very impressive for Brody. He has a jiu-jitsu background. He's been training jiu-jitsu for a pretty long time now. I want to say since he was just a 10-year-old kid. But for him to look that composed and confident in his striking is impressive.
Our winner announcement is presented by Milagro Tequila. Here is Brian Wood.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision, out of the red corner, Brody Atchison.
Great fight. 17-year-old and a 16-year-old kid just put on a show. I always get excited about these, just seeing the evolution of the sport. It's only going to get better and better. We're going to have kids training from the time they're 4 years old to they'll be in the UFC by the time they're 20. It's insane that there's an 18-year-old kid in the UFC right now, so it's very cool to see the evolution of the sport every year.
Again, full credit to both Matthew Thomas, Brody Atchison, combining for a very entertaining fight. Thomas continued to take shots to work to the inside, but Brody Atchison doing an outstanding job with teeps, with straight punches, keeping his range, what he preferred, all the way to the win. Victorious by way of unanimous decision, Brody Atchison defeats Matthew Thomas.